Hello and welcome, everyone. It's the start of Doctor Who week. I've been watching a lot. I'm still fucking watching a lot to do this. It's a good week, and with that in mind, I'm still kind of feeling a little light on stuff to watch and review. So please suggest episodes in the comments, along with what you think of what I'm thinking and what you think of the episode if you've seen it. So, one of the many big decisions among what I'm going to watch is what am I going to start with. I decided I wanted to start with the new series because more people have seen that, and I just, mind you, a lot of stuff's fresh in my memory. I watched this one. I recently got the Series 1 set, and this is where it's from, Series 1. A big thing about this show was trying to prove it deserved to come back. This show was in limbo for a long time. Classic series got canceled in '89, just as Tim Burton was possibly either making the Batman franchise awesome or lame. We couldn't figure it out then. We kind of know now. And it got canceled. It had a chance to come back with the TV movie, which is one of the things that's coming up, don't worry. But that didn't settle right, and then we had to wait another almost a decade. And then comes 2005. Writer Russell T Davies comes in with a new vision for the show, which was, I don't know what the fan reaction was then, but because I got on the show late, I'm going to be honest. But he had the Doctor cast. He had the Doctor cast with Christopher Eccleston. He had Billie Piper as the companion, and on they go. One interesting thing that I know a lot of fans were talking about was what were some of the new villains we were going to see. I mean, yeah, we were definitely going to get the Daleks. I mean, the first episode we got the fucking Autons, which are awesome, by the way. But a thing that was something I really wanted to see was what new villains we were going to get, and we were given some good ones. We got the Angels and the Vasta Narada. Wait, those are all Steve Moffat ideas. I wonder what Davies attributed. Oh yeah! He gave us the Slitheen. And no, I'm not going to say their actual species. I know the Slitheen's a family name, but I can't say Raxaphalopatorian, the whole thing, because I have a speech impediment and I don't want to. But yeah, the Slitheen. They were really the first thing that Davies, head writer, gave us. I mean, we also got the Gelf and whatever the hell you consider that weird flap of skin to be. But, oh wait, yeah, Davies gave us the flap of skin. But, the Slitheen were a big villain. I consider the Slitheen to be Doctor Who's Ferengi. Because early on they tried making him threatening, they tried saying, oh, look how scary these things are. And then you realize they were not even a real funny joke, they were just a joke. That's it. All they did was fart. The main problem with Slitheen in their first appearance, which was Aliens in London in World War III, it was a two-parter, was any suspense that they were trying to build was ruined instantly because Russell T Davies thought, wouldn't it be funny if they faltered here? That's why I really don't give a crap about them as villains. And then comes Boomtown, the only remaining member of that family, because sorry for the spoiler here, most of the family got destroyed in a nuclear missile attack. Extreme way to go. She survived and is currently the mayor of Cardiff. I don't know if that's good or bad. I hear some mixed reactions about the city. But it's in Wales, so, oh well. Long live the Welsh. So, anyway, our story. We open up on a guy talking to her. They do make it a surprise, but whatever. And they simply have some issues over this new power station that's being built. Well, of course, being a calm diplomat, she she just turns into a monster and kills the guy. This is a good start. Then we go to credits and we open up with Mickey going to Cardiff Station to find the TARDIS, where he finds it and he's greeted by Captain Jack. Hi, Captain Jack. Don't make this creepy. And he goes, talks to the doctor and Rose. He finds out that they landed here because there's a rift. The rift was brought up in Quiet and Unquiet Dead. I won't get into too many details with it because I'm trying to keep this as continuity free as I can. But to basically understand, the reason they parked here is because the power from the rift can instantly recharge the TARDIS within a few hours. So that works for them. So they decide to have fun, joke around. Eventually, they find out that, you know, the big scary lizard monster lady is the mayor of Cardiff. So they go and confront her about it, where they go through some really, honestly, goofy, yakety sax-esque chase scene, which is kind of amusing, but gets boring fast. And then they find her, only to do more kind of goofy comedy where they keep messing with her teleporter. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. And then they take her to the office and figure out what's going to go on. She plans to escape with some weird technological doohickey that can only be described as an interdimensional traveling surfboard. Seriously, that is that's the analogy they use for it. And they take her and try and figure out how to stop it all, blah blah blah. Well, they think they got it solved, so they simply wait for the TARDIS to repair and take her to her home planet, where she'll be taken and executed. And to try and convince the doctor that she's not all guilty, she really, really tries. She demands one last meal, which is something, you know, they give to people about to be executed. Makes sense. And here's we get some honestly, the real highlight of the scene. First off, we get the comedy, which is completely played straight and is one of the greatest moments in this series, this season, whatever. And then, once the comedy's over, we get a nice, quiet talking scene between the doctor and... I'm calling her Margaret only because I don't want to say her real name and I keep thinking her name's Margaret. It's really touching and it really shows what I think is Russell T Davies' strength. Dialogue scenes. When the guy is calm and has no need to do really, really, really pointless scenes that either focus on Rose or comedy, and trust me, he does that too much, he's really playing with strength here. He knows how to make it hilarious, and when we get to the quiet, emotional stuff, he really does sell it, and the performances from the two wasn't no different. And you really start feeling bad for her. The only problem with this scene is later on in the episode, it pretty much ruins it all for you. So we find out that her big plan was to get the TARDIS here and use the rift, and because of all the energy it's expanding, the TARDIS will collapse and take all of Cardiff with it, possibly more. Yeah, that was her whole plan this time. She pretty much switches from sympathetic to I'm evil. Seriously, it's that bad. She's even cackling like a fucking generic evil villain. And holds Rose hostage, and then the heart of the TARDIS opens. She turns into an egg. The end. Let's get a little bit more into the good and bad. The good here, like I said, the scene between the Doctor and Margaret at dinner is great. The comedy part is amazing because they play it straight, and the serious acting that both of them give in this scene is amazing. Honestly, check this scene out alone. It's great. You really get down to both, at least what you think is her character, and what is actually the Doctor's character. Let's shift to the bad, and basically, once she says this was my plan all along, it really ruins something. It really is confusing because in an earlier scene, where she's about to kill a reporter asking about the whole power station thing, and she's about to kill her, you see a little bit more sympathy in her when realizing the reporter is with child, and realizing she doesn't have a family. That moment is powerful, and pours into the more powerful moment with the dinner scene, but once she says, this was my plan all along, wahaha, it ruins the characterization, and you're just left kind of pissed off with her. It really does kind of, pour a nice layer of crap over this beautiful, beautiful scene. It's like if we took an ink bottle and just threw it like a water balloon at the goddamn thing. It ruins it all, and it's just kind of upsetting that they went this route. Other strings. Well, some of the other comedy parts are good too. The story keeps me interested. I won't give it that fault. I'm kind of interested to see, okay, what's the big problem, what's going to happen, because the preview showed the TARDIS doing the big laser into the rift thing and causing some problems. And plus, Boomtown kind of sounds like a big title or something, some shit's going to go down. Mind you, this is the same mentality Michael Bay uses when making a movie, but, anyway. Now, let's move on to other characters. We covered the Doctor and Margaret, as pissed off as can be. Let's talk about Captain Jack for a minute. All he served in this story, to me, was to yell out dialogue and be kind of funny. That's about it. He doesn't really do anything action-packed, and he's either explaining what the fuck the surfboard thing does, or making jokes. That's about it. That's all he does. He's also fixing the TARDIS. Not really much from him. It's not as strong as as he was in previous story or the next story. Now let's move on to Rose and Mickey. I'm going to get kind of serious here. I know there's a huge fan riot against Rose, and I wasn't fully understanding of it. I never really loved the character deeply. I thought she was okay. Donna's way better. I'm going to throw that out. Then, rewatching this episode, I've kind of realized the defense a lot of the Rose haters have. She's a bitch in this. And I know that's strong to say, but seriously, it's just... Here's the thing. Russell T Davies loves this character because he created her. And the thing that he just doesn't seem to understand is he doesn't know when she's being kind of insanely bitchy to people. Let's focus on this scene. Okay, she sees Mickey. Now, Mickey's kind of been raked for the coals anytime he's on screen. I mean, the first episode, he gets kidnapped by a weird amalgam of plastic and replaced by one where he's basically in some weird factory listening to a giant melted monster, and he doesn't seem better for it. And then he's, of course, in other previous stories, he's been attacked by the goddamn Slitheen and accused of possibly murdering Rose when the Doctor accidentally brought her back a year later. And so yeah, Mickey's gone through hell. Let's get that point through. And with his girlfriend that he does care for, seriously, he's caring more than Rose is for him, he kind of gets fed up with her leaving, and decides to find someone else. Gets with another girl. I understand that as a bro. Rose is offended by this. Offended by what? Oh no, you left me for someone because I constantly leave you for someone. You whore! That is literally Rose's reaction, and you just lose any sympathy for her. In fact, when Margaret takes out her claw and threatens to kill Rose, I'm like, kill her! She hasn't been at all nice or supportive this episode. Her big moment is her being a royal cow to Mickey, and I just don't feel any sympathy for her. It really bogs everything down, too. Because you have this story with her. Because this is kind of interspersed with that dinner scene. I make a big point about the dinner scene because it's the strongest moment in the episode. This is the polar opposite of it, where just nothing comes together. Russell T Davies was at his writing peak with this episode, with that dinner scene. Here he's at his lowest with it, making Rose just come off even less sympathetic and really not throwing any bones to the We Support Rose Foundation. And that's the thing. The story's okay, the characterization's all over the place. Now that I've gone through that anger spurt, I think I killed something in that process, where does this one stand? It's honestly middle of the road. The story's okay, it has its twist, it's kind of resolved easily. And also the resolution with Margaret being turned into an egg to start anew is, I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Give her a second chance. Because the only reason it's a little wonky because I don't know if she truly wanted that second chance. Maybe it could be easily construed as her falling back on, what she's known for most of her life, and it's hard to, break up on that. Sometimes our worst parts stay with us, and we try and fight it. The second chance is a little weird because was that really her? Her performance is genuine enough to where you don't know if it's really her emotions or it's just Margaret just selling it to the doctor and able to trick him in the end. And if so, if we use this idea, is this technically a forced punishment on her? I mean, yes, she wouldn't realize it in her new brain. She'd be raised by a good family and no longer be corrupt. It's one of those uneven things that just really distracts me. Boomtown is one of those things where it's watchable. It's way up from the worst of this series alone and, well, the show in general, but it's honestly average, middle of the road. Strong performances from Eccleston. Rose just pissed me off. Mickey and Jack just didn't add too much, because here's the thing. Mickey's trying to sell his pain, and you do buy it, so there's some points given to that scene I mentioned, but Rose is just inappropriately offended for no reason, and it just lost me. Tune in next time where I dip into the classic era with Battlefield.